G'day everyone, I'm AzureBlaze, and welcome to another Reforj video. And in this video, I am going to be going over some more circuits, which is fun. I mean, it's been a little bit since I've done the last lot of circuits, which is all here. And some things have updated as well because of the new designs of things. The glow on the on the lumen stone, it's way easier to see now, which is very nice. I very much enjoy that. Let's just get to the nighttime. I want to see this. There we go. Yeah, the lumen stone now has like some nice lights. Oh, did this one mess up? Like, what's happened there? And then this one's going across there. I don't know. I can't remember how this one worked. It's been a while since I've done that. Anyway, you know, the lumen stone is all nice and lit up and everything like that, which is always fun. Anyway, that's not what we're going over today, though. Today, we are going over the two new items that have been added in TU8. Why did I turn my HUD off? I didn't want to turn my HUD off. And that is the button. That's what I was doing. I was turning the time of day back to the middle of the day. Oh, silly me. This is the second time I've started this video too, because I messed up the first time. Anyway, buttons. Buttons have been added to the game, and they work like buttons. They turn on briefly, and then turn off again. It's pretty good. And then the XOR block, this type of logic block, as opposed to things like the AND block or anything like that. This logic block is the XOR block. And basically the idea of the XOR block is if it's an odd number that goes into it, like an odd number of signals that go into the outside of it, it will do one type of beam, and then if it's an even number, it will do another type of a beam. And this can be used for multiple different functions, which I will go over in a little bit. However, let's first talk about more button things, because the buttons are fun, and I like that you can turn on the light and stuff like that. Yeah, we'll talk about the XOR block more in a minute. However, this is buttons. I mean, I like to give examples of what you can do with everything. Whenever I do it. Therefore, yeah. I mean, the button's pretty self-explanatory. It turns on and off. However, something that you can do with buttons, and it's very quick and easy, is you can make a quick thing where, like, you have to press it very quickly to do something. I mean, opening a door isn't probably the best idea for this. However, yeah, the door opened very quickly while I had the buttons clicked down. Basically, pretty simple. And this is simply using a normal AND block to do it, because each of them has a signal, and they all go to receiver with the AND block. Yeah, they all have to be on to do it. I don't know. The buttons. It was never going to be the highlight of this video because, like, they're buttons. You know. What else? Anyway, the XOR block, though, is much more fun. Yeah, basically, as I said, this is the XOR block here. Right now, it has 3 different signals going to it from these emitters. And I have them all on right now. And because these 3 emitters are on, I mean, big, thick green light, the XOR block is emitting a thick green light because there is 3 on. If I put it down to 1, XOR on, no matter which side it goes into, it will be a thick green as well, because it always does odd or evens. Therefore, 1 or 3 in this situation is big thick green line. 2, or if I had 4, it would be the thinner line. I need to turn it back on. There you go. The thinner line, because 2 ons is 1 off for this, same as 4, 6, 8, any even number will make it go off. Any odd number amount of beams going into it will make it go on, down from 1. Good. And here are some examples for it, because why not? Basically, this is a code lock, essentially. Almost, kind of, not really. It's not like back over here, where you have to put in, not necessarily this one, because you can sort of kerfuffle it. This one, where you have to put in a specific code, and for the life of me, I can't remember what it is right now. However, you have to put in a specific code to open the door. It's not quite like that. In this case, it's more about getting the AND block to emit a thick green line. I don't like. Is it a positive or a negative? Like, is there a name for it? Like, are they positive and negatives? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, this is the AND block here, and there's a whole bunch of XORs over here, and one down here as well. And basically, there's a whole bunch of buttons on them, and because at the moment, I mean, there's a whole bunch of offs in them, essentially. they all go to the end block, and they're all off, and the end block is off, and the door does not open. Say if I want to, because the end block needs to have all beams on, it needs to have all 1, 2, 3 XOR blocks fully beamed out to do it. And simply turning on all the buttons will not do this, because there is too many emitters. There we go. It won't work. The end won't put out a thick beam, and these are all putting out a negative beam, because there is at least 2 on in each of them. And the best idea I can sort of think of this sort of situation is like, if you spread out switches along like an area, I guess, and they all link back to it, that might be a fun way to do it. Like, you have to go like an Easter egg hunt to find the switches to open the door. That'd be good for things like adventure maps and stuff, I think. Would be pretty good. Basically though, yeah, if there's one on each of the blocks, it should open the door. Bingo. Yeah. Basically, because I need an odd number to get it to emit the big green beam, yeah, I need one on each of them, and putting on every single one of them simply doesn't fix the situation, which, I mean, it's a good way of sort of limiting it. As I said, it will help with, like, maybe an Easter egg hunt where you have multiple switches and not all the switches are the right switches. Maybe you can have, like, hints down that say which one's which, and if they get it wrong, it simply won't open. I don't know, I think that's pretty neat. The thing with this is, however, it doesn't matter which switch is turned on, regardless. Like, it only has to be one of the switches turned on. There we go, and it will open said door. I don't know if I explained that very well. I'm hoping I explained it kind of well. To me, it makes sense, however, I mean, I built it, therefore, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. Basically, because there's an odd number of lines coming out of these emitters into it, it creates thick green line once again, and then if it's an even number, it creates thin line. Therefore, regardless if it's on or off, it's the same regardless. Anyway, moving on. Here's another example of something you can do with it. Something I really like doing with lots of different circuit stuff, as can be seen over here. I've made a whole bunch of infinite loops and stuff like that. And the XOR block is very good for 2 types of loops. One infinite loop and one non-infinite loop. And to be honest, I think it has the best version of the infinite loop that I've seen thus far. For the non-infinite loop though, however, the thing with the XOR block is, because if you use it with 2 emitters going into it, it will count as even if both the emitters are on. Therefore, if I press a button, and buttons being in the game really helps with the loops now as well. It means you don't have to turn the switch on and off. If you do it with a button, because of that, because it has to have 2 on a, like, 1 on at a time to do it, and then turning 1 on will send a beam out, which will turn that one on, which will turn this one on, which will turn it off, which will then, yeah, it'll keep going back and forth essentially, because this one will turn this one off and everything like that. Yeah, it'll go back and forth twice, specifically, until both the beams, because this beam stays on the whole time, because of the button. The button stays on, therefore the beam stays on the whole time. And because of that, it creates a double loop. And, I mean, I don't know what situation, maybe as like a, say, like a confirmation or something. If the light flashes green twice or something like that, that means you've solved the puzzle. That would be, like, good for that. At least I feel like it would be. It's like a double flash. I like that. Yeah, the button keeps on the emitter for longer than what the receiver turns it on for. Therefore, yeah, it does a singly, like a double loop. I really like that. I think that's great. However, the best part about the XOR blocks is if you want to create an infinite loop, it creates an infinite loop using a switch as if it were as a button. You don't have to turn the switch back off. Because of the way that this is always powered, it's constantly powering and then unpowering this emitter, which causes the loop to constantly happen. It's fantastic. It is easily my favorite version of the loop in this entire game at the moment. I really, really like it. Yeah, and then, like, the button obviously isn't thing. What happens if I turn the button on while I do it? Oh, it, like, pauses it. Oh, that's neat. That's actually even better. Like, you can have a button that literally pauses the loop. Oh, this is the best loop. This is easily the best loop. You can pause the loop very briefly. However, you can pause it nonetheless, or you can simply turn it off. to completely pause it, and you can turn it back on to start it, and you don't have to keep switching. Yep, this is the best loop. I really like this. Yeah, basically, the XOR block has made the best loop in the game. Yeah, and all that's required is 2 emitters, 1 receiver, and 1 XOR block, and then, I mean, some reflectors to reflect everything back in. Yeah, 1 receiver, 1 emitter is always on, which means it keeps the odd beam in here, which constantly changes with this, because if it turns off, this will turn on, da-da-da-da-da, rotate, rotate. Oh, I adore this. Anyway, that's about it though. That's all that was added to the game. Was the XOR block and the button, and I'm hoping my examples kind of explain what you can sort of do with it and stuff like that. Again, I don't know how well I did that. I feel like I did a better job at explaining all this than this. The XOR block I find is actually kind of a tricky one to explain, to be honest. I mean, it's odd and even, essentially. Like, the beams that go into it, if there's not a number, it'll turn on. If there's an even number, it will turn off. I mean, it's simple as that. However, like, showing that is kind of funny, as I said. Therefore, yeah, there's 3 beams, 2 beams, 1 beam. It works well. Yeah, and then buttons work as buttons, which is great. And the fact that you can, like, play with the timing, like, I mean, you can't change the timing of the button. However, I'm curious to see if they ever change how long a button may stay on or off for, and I can't imagine they would now, because I'm assuming people will build builds based around how long a button stays on for, and that would be kind of awful if they went and changed that after people build the builds. Yeah, no, I do like this though. I'm very happy with these new items. I'm excited to see where circuits go in the future, because they did talk about adding different colored beams, which that's exciting in its own right. However, yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed this video and found it useful and not overly complicated at all. Thank you for watching, and I shall be back in the next one. Cheers, everyone.